I'm live. Brother hair is cut down. You see him cleaned up a little taste. If you look at old pictures, the fro was cut down a little bit. What's going on, people? It's your main man, Mr. X. Get your hand out my pocket. I'm here giving you what you want to give you what you need. Enjoy that picture right there uh, for the next little bit because eventually I'm going to get rid of that and I'm going to have a wall full of ancestors' photos. I should have already had it, but you know what it is. But I'm gonna have some artifacts or whatever have you. Have to Africanize up the home. What's good, and what's good. Um, gonna start moving in regards of advertising time. Gonna push that back out on certain black media. So brothers and sisters who know people who have a large audience and faithful following, uh, send that information to me on the comments for people who are soliciting advertising time so that I can buy for them or from them so we can get in that circular motion, that cooperative economics. Uh, big up your brothers, big up your sisters, also sisters as well. You got a large following. Give me that information as well so I can buy advertising for them too. So a brother can do more shows, break down some information. The new black media is here, and you have large channels and some people, and it's unfortunate. Before I get to my topics, unfortunate. Sorry about that. Another phone call. You see the Uncle Life right there. Don't get bored with the show just yet. We haven't started. Sorry about that. Be patient with your brother. Like I was saying, um, brothers who have uh, a bevy of knowledge have been traveled, but there's some flaws in the personality. You know, you're gonna deal with that when you're dealing with this type of game. When you're dealing with anything, there's gonna be some flaws, right? We're not morally perfect by no stretch of the imagination. We make mistakes. We make knowing mistakes as we're doing it. We know we're making a mistake as we do it, and we do it, and then whether we were contrite in terms of apologies or whatever it may be, you know, there's just some things we have to deal with. You know what I mean? And it reminds me of James 57X, former member. May Allah be pleased with him as he has passed on to the Gungun. I assume, I don't know, because we're still trying to figure some things out. But anyway, James 57X, a former associate of Malcolm X, close associate, said that Malcolm preached the prophets were perfect; they could not make any mistakes. And then at one point, towards the end of his ouster in the Nation of Islam, he changed and said, "There's a balance, and there's a balance in being, and you measure, the good and the bad. And if there's more good than bad, then Allah will be pleased with that." And I thought that should have been when you started that, honestly, because you're dealing with the human flesh. You're dealing with flesh here. So when you're dealing with flesh, you're dealing with imperfection. It's a perfect model, but in terms of the actions, it's imperfect. And it also depends on the social standards of society at that particular time and who's setting those standards. But in any case, to get all the way back, people who are involved in the black media have large followings, large amount of subscribers, get a good amount of views, uh, go back and forth. And I'll just go ahead and name this brother. And this is not to troll him because I'm not into trolling people to try to get views and all that and start a feud or whatever. Uh, but you can have an exchange, and what happens is we assume the person who has the large following can never lose an exchange or a minor debate or a discussion. And the brother named T West, um, he is an older brother doing good work in terms of giving us information in regards to the political realm. I mean, really getting in and finding certain things that we need to be wary of or cognizant of. And I like that perspective because it's come from the black perspective. Same thing with Phil from the Advice Show. Comes from a different perspective, or a black perspective, but gives us information that's pertinent for it, like different laws and going inside the law and finding out and pulling the things that affect black people. Very, very important. Only thing is, there's certain things that the brother believes in that I don't necessarily agree with, and it meshes into what he's disseminating. And I follow him on Facebook. This is how I really have interactions with him. I follow him on Facebook. Any brother see RBG, see Africa. Okay, all right, cool, brother, doing some good stuff. Let me go down, see a couple posts I agree with. All right, I can dig that. I can dig that. And then there's some things that you don't dig that. And there was two things that I did not like, and then I'll get into the subject of the video, which is Chi-raq. But um, brother was going down. I was going down on social, my media wall or whatever. DeQuinn, Mr. X hit me up. You know, I'm getting a lot of Facebook requests from brothers and sisters from Africa. Brothers and sisters from Africa, listen, stop DMing me. All right, I ain't got but two pennies to rub together. You know what I mean? So let's develop a relationship through Facebook a little bit, so I know that you're real. And then if I can help you, I'll try to help you. But as soon as we friend requests, you asking me for money, that ain't gonna work. I don't roll. I don't roll like that. I ain't got it like that. I got four children. I ain't got it like that. So let me develop a relationship with you, and let's see, let's see what we can do. Obviously, I see the conditions that's going on out there, but for every good thing I've heard bad things. So I just want to make that clear. Um, that's why I call myself a black nationalist, not necessarily a Pan Africanist yet, because I haven't practiced that yet. You know what I'm saying? But I'm getting there. But anyway, he said something about black men not blaming the white man or something like that, and it was something I saw I didn't agree with. So I jumped in, and we were discussing at some point. I had mentioned that we were all in the prison, and Dr. Nimi Fuller Jr. teaches us that white supremacy is a prison, and as long as that system is functional, then we are prisoners within that functioning prison penal system, right? So it's a broad statement, it's a generalized statement, but I'm talking about total consciousness of black people, not individuals. I get very weary of people who speak in terms of individualism. What I got, what I've able to attain, the money I have, because it's kind of he got that kind of you niggas need to get your shit together type of feel because I have, and it's kind of boule-ish, and the boules are known collaborators and known enemies of African people. You have maybe one, maybe two W.B. Du Bois at the end when he got ousted. Most times people got to get kicked out of the boule. Martin Luther King looked like he walked out, tried to walk out when they shot him in the back of the head. But the other brothers looked like they just was just down. You see, it don't matter. Again, you're one big nigga. You're not protected in any type of social secret society that you got because there's several of them. There's the Links, there's Jack and Jill. There's all these secret societies with black people that think that they're safe, that they won't be used like their ass won't. They won't get used like toilet paper and wiping a white supremacist ass and then tossed away into the toilet. But anyway, get back. So he has that kind of feel about him. So that kind of put me off. Then we went into more of a debate. And the brother, like I said, I'm new to consciousness realm. And just like new people who get information and inspired by it, you go out and teach. Just like Malcolm X or Denzel Washington said in the Malcolm X movie, when you have these teachings, you want to go out and just tell everybody because it's just, you have this, you're full of this love of your people and you want to help them so much. So you're like, bruh, these teachings is the truth. I'm telling you, it did this thing for me. It could do it for you. It could do it for your family. I really want you to have this because I'm not even looking at it in terms of me versus you type of thing. I want you to be the best you can be because it helps us as a whole. So I had that fervor and fire. So this brother got me by all means. Listen. It's one thing I've learned about being a basketball player was that to win, you have to assess the competition. You have to assess yourself. You have to assess your team and see where you fit in there. What happened with basketball, especially with black players, people think they're better than what they actually are, and it becomes embarrassing when you find out you're not as good as you think you are, and especially if you see somebody that's way better than you. You understand? And so as a ball player, I got so consumed with winning that that gave me the selflessness that I needed because of the way I was selfish. You've been used to being the best, and then you get to a team where you're not, and you have to back up and say for the best course of action for this team and for us as a whole is for that person to take a bigger role uh, offensively since we're talking about basketball. And so when I got into consciousness, it was like I'm seeking information from everybody. So if you got information I don't got, I sit down and listen. I could be a teacher and a student. So again, if people have this boom, 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 they got parts of the Constitution that ratified and amendments and years and all. I love that political stuff. Stuff that Claude Anderson is spitting is beautiful. So I love all these different things. I love all information. My father was always told me that. He said, get all the information you can get that can help you. And that's always been my stance. So I always adhere. Call my brother Keith Newsom. Shout out Black Hot Fire, most knowledgeable man I've ever come in contact with. And so he'll do his shows, and I call in. A lot of times I don't even say nothing because I'm learning. Every episode, I'm learning. He's spitting, and I'm just spitting the hot fire. I'm like this. I want to learn. I want to know because people have access to reading material you will never have access to. A lot of that dealing with economics. The more expensive the book, the more real the information. You know what I mean? You get that when you find that book about the real Christopher Columbus. You have to come up off with some paper. But until then, you get the free boy in 1492. Columbus out there, Ocean Blue, and he's this hero. So anyway, back to T West. So I say we're the prison. He started talking individually. I ain't in no prison. You consider yourself your prison. This is a long time. This is a while ago. This is a couple months ago. So I vaguely remember the conversation, but he was trying to debunk everything that I was saying. It's like, brother, you know this. I'm looking through your posts. You got a little bit of a following. I know you got knowledge. It's evident. You know what I'm talking about, man. Like, why you fronting right now? Now I understand you was able to get a level of education. You was able to do well for yourself, but collectively, brother, I speak in terms of the collective consciousness of black people. I don't care where you're able to go. You can travel all over the world. There's people in Africa right now dying that can't get food. So until that's rectified, I don't give a fuck about where you can go and where you can fly and all those other shit. I don't care about that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, collectively, brother, we are in a prison. We're the system of white supremacy. This is a prison. This is why you do what you do. This is why I do what I do. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. We'd be free. We're not free. So everything he was trying to debunk, it's like, brother, is you either you're conscious or you're not. Because you have white supremacist talking points, and you talking like pull up your bootstraps, and you know the system that's created so that we are not able to obtain wealth. We don't even have to really get specific and dissect the certain merits of systematic white supremacy. We can just talk about the Great Migration was mass domestic terrorism in the early 40s when all these black people came from the south to the north to look for better opportunities. No, the KKK went absolutely crazy. They just fuck it. You niggas come up off everything you got. I'm tired of this. They don't have long discussions, especially during that time. They have long discussions and meetings about what we're gonna do about these black people getting better, improving, getting uppity. We just gonna run them out of here. I'm tired of talking. They get their torches, they get their guns, and they start blasting. And they're protected by the law. Or they get military with them. That's a prison. So we going back and forth, and then he disagreeing with everything I'm saying. Everything I'm saying. Now, any conscious person that's listening to this, or that views this, y'all know what I'm talking about. Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. Represent. One of my many teachers. When you go to college, you pay white folks a whole lot of money. They teach you nothing. They teach you nothing. This stuff you're not ever going to use. It'd be great if you took the information you got in the HBCUs or predominantly white institutions and come down and help your community, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. There's no money in that. And I'll get to that a little later on. That's twice I mentioned his name as a point to that. So he keeps going back and forth, right? And then Beautiful Chocolate Sister jumps in the fray. Has the same last name as him. Jumped in and said, you black people always, she doing the whole, you always blaming white folks, and y'all need to get y'all stuff together and all this other, and y'all, and I'm like, y'all, white man, huh? You one of those stop blaming the white man sisters, huh? Okay, let me see, let me click. I don't know, like I don't know where to find this because I post and post and post. I post like 25, 30 things a day on Facebook. So this, like I said, this is like a month or two ago. So you're probably not gonna find this. But if he gets it and he finds it and he posts it, you know, it is what it is. He she said what she said, so we clicked on the profile, and she hooked up with this white man. So I'm looking at him real close. I gotta make sure this brother. Let me see if this dude is white. You know, how brothers be light skinned. You know how it is. We try to get away from blackness, or we mix with all these other races, and we start explaining. So I'm looking at him, and looking at him, and looking at him, and so all right, let me just do this. Go to a photo, see what his name is. I forget his name. Click on his name. Now his profile comes up. Now he says where he's from. From Georgia. From Georgia. No, not Atlanta, Georgia. The other Georgia. Caucasus Mountains, Georgia. So this is a white man from Caucasus Mountains. We can still use that politically correct term, Caucasian. He is the epitome of Caucasian. As a matter of fact, I have never met a white man who you can call Caucasian who is actually from that region. From that region. Born in that region. Usually from somewhere in New York State, from Maryland, Idaho, Utah, Texas, Detroit, Vermont, Mississippi, Kansas City. This dude is actually, one, an immigrant. Two, he's from the Caucasus goddamn Mountains. She found the whitest of white men. Beautiful sister. And she jump in the thing. I'm like, of course you would jump in and talk about it's not the white man because you married with him. Okay, sis, you got it. Because I don't get into the go back and forth with women. I don't do that. I don't do that. I'm trying to stop that. You married, you getting like but I'm trying not to deal with those things. And I've created an edict, especially on Facebook, where I'm getting the name calling and all that other stuff. Man, I try to stay away from all that. But I said, you got it, sis. So, yeah, the dude, and then his daughter, jumped in and tried to explain to me that he's an African. I lie to you not. I lie to you not. He was trying to tell me I should believe him and not my lying eyes, and that he's actually black. I lie to you not. I think I did a video. I think I did a video that night. As a matter of fact, I'm going over it again. I think I did a video of it that night. And I may have to, go through the Get You Into My Pocket archives and see what episode it was, because I was just discussing it. I'm not even sure. Or maybe I'll put it on the SoundCloud. I don't know. But he really tried to play me. And so I had to call some of my elders like, yo, I'm not tripping, right? Because I'm putting receipts into the Facebook conversation. Like, dude, he's from the Caucasus Mountains. Like, that's white people, like, scripturally were created. Like, he's really from there. And you're gonna tell me, you're gonna sit here and look at me and tell me, but he's trying to hit me with other, and I wish I had it. But he was really trying to defend this guy. That's the only thing you need to know. He's really trying to defend this guy. I said, bro, what you should have been doing, all this energy you put on me, what you should have been doing, the blackest thing that you could have done is make sure your black daughter got with a black man. Now, obviously, God has blessed you with your intelligence and your ability to have traveled and obtained resources or whatever and wealth. So she has quite obviously had a privileged upbringing. I could tell through the conversation that she's saying, because she was a 501c3 or somebody, she was a business owner and all that. So she was saying, I got all this stuff, you niggas get your game up because I got this stuff, and you niggas, if I can do it, you niggas can do it. It's like real conservative. So I'm like, people are cooling out in front of my very eyes. When you go back and forth with people who consider themselves conscious and they got some stuff, see what their responses are. You understand? You don't have to have poor thinking, but the masses of your people are poor. And what they don't like is for you to placate them and tell them what you got that they don't obviously got. This is why we got the violence. This is one of the reasons why we got the violence. We rob each other because you got what I don't have. And so you telling me all these things that you were able to do. And the dude was kind of respectful. He said, I've traveled the world. Maybe you should travel and stuff like that. I said, bro, I'm not disputing that. You were able to travel. You got more knowledge than me. You've been in more places than me. I'm conceding that. I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. You're wrong, brother. He's a white man. Like, You can't argue this. You really trying to argue this. You going back thousands of years. That shit is all bled out of him. He's a white boy. He's a goddamn white boy. He whiter than a motherfucker. Excuse my language, I'm sorry, but you know, we talking about black media and we have to be consistent in our perspectives and our stances. It has to be empowering. And one of those things is dealing with black people in all ways of life and having your bloodline dealing with black people. You have to duplicate yourself, not only in terms of just blood lineage, but instead of philosophical beliefs and ideological beliefs. Race first. Don't bring no white man in my motherfucking house. You spending up all my money, up all my food, and you got the nerve to bring a white man from the Caucasus Mountains in my house? Girl, you better get the hell out of here and find you a black man. He got to go. Don't come back in my house. No. We have to take that stance if we want to save our race. So I noticed some posts he takes shots at and orators and scholars, some ancestors, and again, like I said, the sister jumped in, was talking about all the things that she was able to obtain, and niggas stop blaming the white man and all that, and then you sleeping with him, okay? And so he had to defend the white man. You see how that works? You see how easily we compromise? You see how you can't keep your race first theology if your people go astray? Because they're gonna come back with it. Hey, you talking all this back first, leave the white man alone. Look at your daughter. Look at your son. He's swimming in them. So what happened there? You see what I'm saying? We got to cover these holes. These are huge. These small holes could be gaping craters within a boat of African survival. And them shits are poof, and we sank. And that's why we've been sinking for so long. Because people are easily compromised. So even in media, and his daughter didn't have to jump in. I wasn't even mentioning her. We wasn't even talking about her. We was talking about him, and we were respectful. It was me and another brother, and the brother was a follower of his, and then he flipped and got back with cuz and started getting at me. And I'm like, this ain't nothing to get at. The dude is white. That's it. That's it. He's white. You wrong. He started hitting me with all this history and stuff like that. He's like, you ain't bunked this history, and you ain't said nothing in terms of facts. I said, I bought the one receipt that mattered. The dude is from the Caucasus Mountains. That's what it says on his Facebook profile. Georgia. I looked up Georgia, and here it is. Here's a screenshot of Georgia. This is where it is. Was it Eastern Europe or something like that? And there's the mountains, and it said within the text, it's next to the Caucasus Mountains. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Dude is white. And that was a dispute. So it went from one dispute to two. So the dude took an ass whooping. He tried to say I was losing the debate. I said, bro, the debate is already won. I proved that he's white. There's no defending that. I called my elders. I said, brother, am I tripping or is Georgia a region where white folks? He said, yeah, it's the Caucasus Mountains. Yeah. Yeah. They started laughing. They started laughing. Like, yeah, I was like, no, I'm not tripping, man. I ain't real, like I said, I ain't real versed in regards to the world map. I am still learning. I'm on a ground guy, but at the same time, more information will help me free minds. And that's what it's about, freeing minds. If you're not the Malcolm X, create the next Malcolm X. If you're not Fannie Lou Hamer, create the next Fannie Lou Hamer. So we went back and forth on that, and I just left him alone. I haven't commented no more on his Facebook posts because sometime he seemed like he one of those. He seemed like he one of those. If we work within the system in a greater numbers, we can get the things that we need. Like people still are trying to assimilate within the system. There is no assimilating in this system. You can get more butter biscuits and crumbs. Yeah, you'll never be able to make the actual butter biscuits. See, they'll give you all the biscuits you want, but you'll never be able to create your own butter biscuits. They have to. They have to keep giving you biscuits so that you'll keep coming. Because one day if you decide, hey, this is some old equipment here and he's not giving me enough biscuits, maybe I can get the supplies and create the machinery to make my own biscuits. Now I can make as many as I want. You see what I'm saying? certain level of action happens to be able to do that. That's not what the society wants. So he one of those dudes that be pushing all that stuff, and I'm weary about that. I take some of the information because it's good in terms of conversation, and again the whole freeing the minds apparatus that I think every YouTuber or so-called woke person should utilize. But anyway, tonight again I'm 25 minutes in. I still haven't gotten to my topic. Um, he mentioned something about Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. See, now you coming at a guy who was Francis Cress Welsing's teacher, and so you come at him, you coming at her. There's no two ways around. Just like when your daughter jumped in the mix, and I wasn't even talking about her or to her, she felt like she needed to jump in the mix to defend her father. So she felt, hey, you talking about him, you talking about me, which is she was on code. That's what she's supposed to do. So I wasn't even mad at her. I just left it. Hey, you with the right dude? You got it, sis. You got it. I had to see you responded. I already know what your thought processes is. None of that surprised me once I saw the pictures. I mean, she loves this dude. When you see photos and she all up in bruh. I feel so bad for the sister because when that shit go down, and it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down. She's gonna be heartbroken, and I just feel so bad that we allowed this stuff to happen. But anyway, Dr. Neely Fuller does what he do, makes it plain to the motherfucker. and one of the shout out to the brother who makes these cartoons. It's funny of short speeches. He takes a snippet of a long answer that Neely Fuller Jr. has his own show, and he has a moderator, and all the correct questions are directed towards Neely Fuller, and then he answers them in his own unique perspective. No one answers questions the way Neely Fuller Jr. does, and it's funny because it's direct opposite of how he writes. Like he's got two books. I forget one. One is the Fiscal Code Conduct of White Supremacy, and the way it's written is very professorial, very scholarly. You feel like you're reading Amos Wilson, but the way he talks, he breaks it down simple. And so he was talking about education. And this is the same way I thought about it before I ever even heard that. And he was breaking it down like, yeah, you got this degree. And he was talking about education. He was like, you got this degree, nigga, that I gave you. And you passed the requirements, the education requirements that I've given you. And so here, I have certified you and stamped you as valuable in society. And I'm paraphrasing. It's not paraphrasing. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. And T. West put up something, and again I'm paraphrasing, but this is what I felt he was saying, that he said people like these Negroes here devalue education. This is why people don't finish high school. And most of the people on the comments was like, bro, you totally missed the point of what he was saying. That's not what he was saying. He was not devaluing education, telling people not to get education. You totally missed the point. And another brother was like, yo, now you're taking shots at Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. So when he says now, that means he's done it before. He's done it with other people. So the perspective, and like he don't go at collaborators, known collaborators. I don't see posts about Roland Martin, known collaborators. No Kamala Harris going at everybody in black media is going at these two because they're collaborators. They're boule, they're links. These people are puppets. They're known puppets that have been asked, hey, what you gonna do for black people? They like all Americans, LGBT, gay rights community. Go at they ass all day long. Everybody needs to be going in on them. So all their subscribers and followers, people who are registered voters, know not to even fuck with these people. We're taking on a whole different stance now. Tangibles 2020. Get on the movement or get ran over. We're not dealing with nobody. We holding the vote. Listen, if you ain't talking black, we not fooling with it. We out the matrix. We're unplugging. So he going on Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. You see what I'm saying? And I know, just like Big Brother. My Big Brother, we find out it's gonna be it's gonna be rap. Now I don't agree with everything everybody be doing. So I'll just look at your body of work, how you going about things, and I discern, a response or whatever. Usually personally, I usually don't call names. This is the first name I've ever called, but that bothered me a little bit. That bothered me. And people have posted stuff, and I never really do direct videos with a name. Again, I usually generalize it, and if the shoe fits, wear it. because I don't like back and forth between black men and black men. We don't need to do that. We've got bigger fish to fry, and that's why I'm saying it was very important for brothers, everybody to get on code who got a following. We got a pretty large following on YouTube, about 25,000 subscribers, which is what I like to get to at a particular point. But I want to use that to influence local happenings, to make pertinent change in the black community. So take any resources that's able to be garnered so that work can be done here, because just like every other black community, we get gentrified out. My town is under siege. We been getting our ass whooped. We need all the help we can get. So I would have loved to have bought advertising time from the brother. But if I get too many disagreements, I gotta leave you alone. I ain't gonna spend time trashing you and all this other stuff. I ain't gonna fit to tag you and all that. I ain't gonna do all that, the roast and stuff. I don't do that. That's not me. But in personal conversations, your name may come up. And so I just decided, that really bugged me. So now he getting at Dr. Neely Fuller, to get back to it, getting at Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. because he totally took the post out of context. And Neely Fuller Jr. was saying the control the white supremacist has over the educational system. So getting a degree, we make too big a deal of it. It's a strategy for whites to funnel blacks into the educational system. But when you have that degree, who has to hire you? So he like at the end of the cartoon, the dude is like, so what do I do with this? He said, you just hold on to that. I get to you if I feel like it, depending on what day I feel like it, depending on how I feel like that day. And that was it was funny. It was some real shit. He's speaking as the job, the employers. Yeah, you got the criteria, but you know what? You got 7 out of 8. If you had all 8, I would have hired you, but you got 7 out of 8. So you got to go back. Umar talks about this all the time. You got to go back and get more education. So we get more and more debt to them getting education we can't use to empower ourselves or to empower our community. Now, sometimes you say that stuff, but then you say something totally crass that undermines all the positive shit you just said. You play both sides of the fence. It's like, is you black or is you not? Because you one of the old school moral cats that's not gonna win this war. Moralities ain't gonna win this war. Love for a white man ain't gonna win this war. You telling me he a prince or something like that? You got a grand idea? You gonna merge the two families? They gonna give us resources to fight this war from the Caucasus Mountains? Get the fuck out of here, man. And then you take a shot at Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. because you leave with your education on your sleeve. It's okay. I'm not getting that education in terms of black men being educated. But the face of education has to change. That's why I like Umar so much. The young folks can connect with him. Tariq Nasheed, the young folks can connect with him. Now, Dr. Umar is a doctor, he's a scholar. Tariq is a street cat who read up and is able to conduct himself in an intellectual manner professionally that the young folks need to see. But he can get gully with some street shit too. And they need to see that. It's more of them than us. When you get old like that dude, when you get old, you get comfortable. And so when you involve with your thinking, you start thinking, I want to involve more with white folks. All of them do that. When they get old, they start saying, white folks ain't all that bad. Jim Brown doing it right now. The baddest, most ruthless, revolutionary type brother. He right up there. I mean, the man had one of the few truces that the Bloods and Crips had in the 90s when the shit was bad. He was in the middle of that. Put their hands together. Jim Brown's a bad dude. His resume is, like Professor James Small said, his resume is down to the wall. So when you get old, you find yourself next to damn Donald Trump, talking glowingly about him. See, we can't have that. If you got a brother fighting for that long and his money get low, because that's obviously what it is, we got to make sure we got apparatuses in place here, brother. We got this nice big house for you. It's paid off. We got land for you. You good. You ain't got to worry about none of that stuff. You ain't got to be out there with Donald Trump and all that. We good. You got you. You got this house stuff. We got some money set aside for your family and everything. You good, brother. You good. We straight. That's when you get a nation together. When brothers have fought 50, 60 years and it's time for them to hang it up, they can be somewhere comfortable, still having chopping up with men, made men. Now they on some Godfather type stuff. You know what I mean? Where they're cultivating the younger folks, giving them the game that they need so that they can have a 25, 30-year-old year run, so on and so forth. But then you got brothers like this who get at Neely Fuller Jr., nah, bruh. Nah, no, you ain't finna do that. That's not, that bothered me. That bothered me, because honestly, I don't even listen to Neely Fuller Jr. that much. But I'm fans of two of his the most known students, Francis Cress Wilson and Tariq Nasheed. And so I get the game from Neely Fuller from them two. And then sometimes I get it from him directly. And so when you say that, and Neely Fuller speaks in terms of white supremacy, everything he talks about is dealing with white supremacy. All conversations are dealing with white supremacy. That's how black people need to fucking operate. Through the premise of white supremacy. When we amongst each other and you ask me a question about anything, you deal with in terms of white supremacy. So don't try to explain to me that dude from the Caucasus Mountains ain't white. Don't do that, man. Don't insult my intelligence, man. And that's what you do sometimes. Matter of fact, you do it all the time. You insult people's intelligence because you read a couple hundred books. I don't give a fuck how many couple books you know. We in the prison, nigga. You can die just like me. And ain't nobody gonna save you. Ain't nobody gonna march for you. Ain't nobody gonna seek justice for you. You just be like the other niggas that got killed. They killed King, put him in a box, said some white dude killed him that didn't kill him, and that was it. Then they said in 1999, you know what, we did kill him. So what, nigga? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Malcolm X shooter, still alive. The dude that shot him with a shotgun right to the fucking chest, that's the shot that killed him. The dude is still walking. They know who he is. They know who he is. Everybody knows who he is. You know what? He's still living. Living a good life too, I heard. So you can do all that, a man in the mouth, that morality play where you doing what's right, cats hollering out, doing what's right, still doing nefarious shit. Fuck out of here, man. Fuck out of here, man. Lying. That's a lie, brother. Don't deal in certain moralities if you're not able to withhold that standard. Just leave certain things alone. If you know you incapable to have that type of conversation and be firm and aggressive with it, leave that alone. Because it's always gonna come back to you. So he never was a race. T. West is not a race first guy. You'll never hear him talk about race, African people first and all that. He's not gonna do that. He may jump in and jump out. It's like the damn pool. The pool's too cold. You put your foot in, it's cold. You put your foot out. That's how he is. So that post about Navy Fuller really bothered me. On top of the fuckery with the white dude, the funny thing is, the Navy Fuller post bothered me more than the white boy post. I mean, I'm already married, but I'm thinking in terms of the black collective, and it'd been great with a brother like yourself who has the information and knowledge, been able to travel, and your wife and your daughter gets with a black man, and so now y'all team up. We have to, again, duplication is very, very important. You can't have a dude that's fighting his ass off for the freedom and liberation of our people. I assume that's what you're doing. And then your bloodline don't. Your bloodline is a Christian. Your bloodline is a Sunni Islam. Your other one is agnostic and a stripper coon. You know what I mean? Not to denigrate strippers, but it's like, bruh, you should be building so this channel that you have created, you build it, you can pass it on. Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties. Uh, that's what you need to do. So it's 38 minutes. You know, I try to go to about when I'm doing videos and get the topic Chi-raq that I'm heading to Chicago next week. And, you know, hopefully I'm able to do the things I set out to do. I've been planning to go to Chicago the last 2-3 years, so I'm happy I'm able to go. I haven't seen my mom and sister in a while, and I haven't been to Chicago in a great while, so I'm excited to go. Um, and, you know, uh, I've been there before. A lot of times when you got information you didn't have previous to, you kind of drive around with a particular thought process. I remember years ago, me and my cousin went down. We went down into the city. We just drove down, turned around, and came back. So we just drove and just spoke. And he was in the hood. Like I think we passed Cabrini Green, and bro, I was so scared. I had my chair all the way back. He went past it, turned around, and closed back again. And I'm sitting there like, oh, I hope we don't get shot because it was a summer day, so everybody was out. They're like, man, everybody out this job. I'm like, bro, I'm like 18, 19. I'm like, man, I'm not picking my head up, man. No, this is good. This is wild. You know what I mean? And I don't have that same feeling. But they protect the territory. If you're not one of them, and nobody knows you, no one checks for you, then you're an intruder, and you got to pay for that. So I come in all humbleness and respect. I am a very humble man, and I love our people, and I defend Chicago as best I can with the information that I do have. Uh, and more information I get helps me defend Chicago and what's going on there. And there's an onslaught and there's a genocide campaign for our people there. And the people who are complaining about it should go down there and try to assist in any way that they can. And whether it be an hour, 2 hours, couple of days, a week, month, whatever you can afford. Um, because I met some people uh, from there and they're under siege. And unfortunately, I was unable to have long, pertinent conversation about, the activist history because we had a falling out. You know what I mean? It just these things happen. You like to try to cultivate all the revolutionary energy you can find in a particular area and do some real pertinent work. But what happens is you have misconceptions and lack of communication. That's really the biggest thing in all our movements: lack of communication. Some people got longer strings than others. Some people's string is like this, and other people's string is like this. And so, if you operate with a lot of people whose string is long, and then you find somebody that's short, you end up losing them, and you don't even mean to do it. So, if these people, if they know who I'm talking about, I won't name any more names. But if you um, see this, contact me. I've reached out and to try to repair the relationship because sometimes this is one of these things I didn't even know what happened. My name, organization get thrown in things, and you be like, what happened? And you start to go over it in your mind as I can see maybe that was misperceived as something that it wasn't. But anyway, I do want to go down there, do some work with the Black Panther Party Cubs. Go down there to see Savior's Day, obviously, see the minister speak. Call Brother Ben X. I'm name dropping now, but it's cool to be able to call and just chat with the young brother. He's a young brother, so I'm older, uh, so you have to have a particular decorum. You can't sound like no damn groupie. But I'm proud of the young brother. They said they were gonna play some ball, so I haven't played in like 6 months. I played once in 6 months, so I'm out there with them young guys. I may get hurt, but I'll risk that with those brothers because I know they putting in the work, and I really don't want to have fruitless basketball. And I play with some old white guys because one, I can beat up on them, and two, just really to get myself in shape. I don't really want to play any highly competitive basketball because I have a bit of a reputation. So if I don't live up to that reputation, it's gonna bother me, and then people think it's 2005 and it'd be high noon when they guard me. The brothers that play basketball, you know what I'm talking about. But the biggest thing, obviously, is see the minister speak in person. I got front row seats, so I'm excited about that. Going to the United Center, full of black people, to see the real man perform. And I never thought I'd say that. I always wanted to go to the United Center to see Michael Jordan, and I never thought I would be able to do that. But I'm happy that I'm able to go and see the brother minister. And again, like I said, if I'm able to do so, to have a conversation with him or talk to him about some things that's going on with our community and what's his stance on it, and what we can do. I'm chairman of Justice Else, commissioned by the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. So uh, advice and energy. That's really what we need, spiritual energy. And I think people, all activists who consider themselves people who want to see real change, take these trips. Go to different trips to get that energy. Because if your community is dead, sometimes you need to travel and get replenished and then come back. And you may have to do it 2 or 3 times a year. But it's good. The traveling part is good, and then being around other conscious folks from different areas. So because sometimes we isolate. We feel like sometimes we the only ones. Like, God damn, is anybody else fighting? Does anybody else want to fight? And in every state, there's someone saying that very same thing, and it'd be great to meet them and just listen to them speak. And you like that energy energizes you, you know. And then you bring it back home, and you have to have a plan, man. When you on that ride home, or I'm going on a plane, so on that plane, it's just like You have structure. You have a sheet of paper with ideas, and now on that ride there, but especially on the ride back, what is first? What do I go on first? Who do I contact first? Who can I give this energy to so they can feel where I'm going and give us what we need to improve our conditions? So, I'm excited to go to Chi-raq. Um, Unfortunately, it wasn't this video wasn't all positive. I just needed to get that information out. And no, he probably will never see this or respond. If he responds, he responds. I won't mind coming on the show and discussing something. I like to have some type of structure, though. I enjoy speaking to our brothers and sisters about pertinent things. I think this is pertinent. I think that the information that Brother Neely Fuller disseminates, we should take it all, 100% of it, at face value. Because degrees, I'm not discouraging people from degrees, but again, the information was misinterpreted. I don't think he did that by mistake because he's too smart. It's like, dude, in the post, I said that several times on the back and forth from him. I said, dude, the white man that you're talking about, even if you say, because I know all African people come from certain parts of the planet, we know migrated here, yeah, we're the beginning of life. You ain't got to convince me of that. I already know that. So maybe at one point, those people in that area had black faces, but no more. They're pale as fuck. And politically, they're white. Ain't no white dude coming here talking about he African. Don't nobody want to be African. Are you kidding me? I mean, and I was saying we focus too much on trying to make people that's African African. That's not African African. And what I mean by that is that we can find the blood lineage of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, and we can go say yeah you African. Or if they say no I'm not, then I'm not gonna have no more conversation with you. I'm not trying to convince you to something that you're not, because you just let me know you my enemy. And so all right, I'm cool on you all that. Oh, you're not black. Okay, cool. Okay, but I know what your actions are gonna denotate. It's gonna be the opposite of African empowerment. You're gonna do what's best for your race that you claim, whatever that is. Because we got a lot of that going on right now. In one interview, motherfuckers black and African American, Cory Booker. And in the next interview, he biracial. In the next interview, he a person of color. What are you, bruh? That's why Malcolm X said, who are you? You don't know. Don't tell me Negro. That's why he said that. Who are you? Who are you? So I'm going to Chi-raq to find out who the hell I am. And go to my Facebook page, The Quinn Mr. X. Get your hand in my pocket Facebook, Justice Else LLC of Albany. Go to those Facebook pages. Donate. I'm taking small donations to help with the costs of getting there. It was not cheap, very expensive. Set a brother back. I have a family. I appreciate any little pennies that you can put together. Throw a brother to help with the expenses, because I don't want to go there with my pockets empty. I want to be able to go to the vendors and maybe pay a couple brothers for some interviews and stuff like that, so you all can see that I did go down there. And I did have a good time, but it's really not about good time in terms of having fun. It's conscious fun. The conscious people are like, you don't have no fun. It's like the church. People are like, enjoying the church ain't no fun. Nah, you can have fun, but it's all with the right perspective. When you look around and you break it really, and you break it down, um, you can have entertainment and music, but it's all about empowerment. Same music and lyrics, or same music and beats, but the lyrics are empowering. You get food and energy from it. And you can do your dance and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta hump on nobody. You ain't gotta hump on nobody. Save that for the bedroom. We ain't always gotta hump each other to have fun. And you have foods there that are empowering. You gotta let me get 2 beers. No, you need 2 beers, get 2 waters. And this is stuff that I need. I need this stuff. It's a purifying process. Go out there and get purified. Your spirit, your body, everything. So it's beautiful. Shout out to the Nation of Islam. They have everything that other organizations are trying to acquire, uh, but we don't have the organization. We don't have the structure. And so that's why they're number one, and that's why they take all the hits that they take. Did they make mistakes? Yeah, they made mistakes. But people have this understanding that when you a nation, a real nation, that it's supposed to be utopia, and you're not gonna do some things that really don't agree with God's law, but actually it does. You protect your nation at all costs. That's what other nations do. We don't. We talk on both sides of our mouth. Hey, you ain't supposed to be doing this, but the person that's saying it is doing all sorts. And the black community which they come from allows whomever to come into the community to do whatever they want. Everybody can set up shop in the black community and make millions of dollars. Here's a nation that says this is what we're going to do. And it's coming from the top. We're going to become a nation, and cutthroats and stool pigeons will be dealt with. White folks talk about national security. The higher ups, the important people with important positions, talk about national security. That's what J. Edgar Hoover used to say all the time. He might have coined the phrase. He talked about the national security of America. This country's national security. He was a faggot, and he hated black people. And he operated with impunity against the black community. That's why he was director for so damn long. Presidents were scared of him. Governors were scared of him. They said, you should run for office. I said, nah, I'm more powerful as the FBI director. I can stand over all of them. That's why the fact it was all next. That's why you see all these pictures with him next to presidents. You don't see that nowhere now. The FBI directors after him, you don't never see them in pictures with throughout the and it's you with in photos with Kennedy, Nixon, Johnson, Eisenhower. This is all of them. Letting you know, white boy, you know I really run this country, right? You gonna do what the hell I tell you to do. You understand? That Martin Luther King nigga, he got to go. Malcolm X, he got to go. Medgar Evers, he got to go. Don't worry about getting connected to you. We got it all planned out. We operate with impunity. We're an invincible force. That's why we got to get on code, because you're dealing with people like that. They still follow the edicts and principles of J. Edgar Hoover's FBI. Trust and believe that. The black identity extremists, trust and believe that. They still do it. So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to sign off. Please donate. Donate to your brother. Thank you. Share and like. Subscribe. Please subscribe. Go to soundcloud.com/GYHOMP. Get the podcast. I have to start doing more podcasts, but those podcasts is dope. From the editor, producer, writer, and all that. Shout out to the brothers and sisters who were involved in previous shows. New shows will be coming. I left my job to do this stuff full time, and I want you guys to know I love you. And even if I go in on you a little bit, it's because of the love of the people. It's nothing personal. It's about what's best for our people, what's best for the black nation, national security. That's why I ain't mad at these crackers for doing what they do, to try to uphold white supremacy, to try to uphold America as the leader of the world. They have to exterminate Africans. Now, this is the thing. They're kind of psycho because if you exterminate us, you're going to lose the planet. Like, the planet can't survive without black people on it. I want y'all to know that. And that's something deeper. Shout out to Brother Henry Johnson. I know that to be true, but I know someone else can break it down a lot better than I can. So I end with that. Get your hand in my pocket, Mr. X.